that. Can Blake, Green and Matty Smith organise things? We'll have to wait and see.
We will indeed. The atmosphere is building. Don't forget, as I say, it's in stunning 3D as well. Bill and the commentary team waiting for you on 3D. We'll go down to Rod now, though, for the full check on the latest team news. No Sam. So now.
Thanks, Eddie. Yeah, terrific atmosphere down here on the sideline. It really is electric for one of the big games of the season. Let's start with the Leeds side. Callum Watkins continues to deputise at fullback for Zach Hardacre. Joe Vickery on one wing, Ryan Hall on the other in the centres, Joel Moon and Carl Ablett. The Leeds halves are Danny Maguire and captain Kevin Sinfield. In the pack, Kylie Luluai, Rob Burrow, and a return to the run on 13 for Jamie Peacock. Jamie Jones-Buchanan, Brett Delaney and the returning Ryan Bailey. And on the bench for the Rhinos, Stevie Ward, Ian Kirk, Mitch Achurch and Richard Moore. And the coach of the Rhinos is Brian McDermott. The visiting Wigan Warriors have Pat Richards standing in for the injured Sam Tompkins at fullback. Josh Charnley, Darryl Goulding back in the centres after illness, Ian Thornley and Jack Hughes, who comes in on the left wing to replace Richards. Halfbacks Blake Green and Matty Smith. The Wigan pack still missing some big hitters, but these are the 6 selected. Dom Crosby, Michael McAlorum and Ben Flower. Liam Farrell, Chris Chewson and captain Sean O'Loughlin completing the starting 13 for the Warriors. And on the bench for Wigan tonight, Gil Dudson, Scott Taylor, Logan Tompkins and teenager Greg Burke. And the Warriors coach is Sean Wayne.
So Wigan are here. They won the corresponding fixture at Headingley last June by 50 points to 8. It was their best ever win on this ground. But tall scoring and runaway victories are the exception rather than the rule when these two sides meet. Arguably the two most famous names in the game. They've won more trophies between them than everybody else. Sean Wayne, the Wigan coach, he piloted Wigan to the League Leaders' Shield in 2012. His first as the Wigan boss. He won 21 of 27 matches. And as you can see, although there are one or two names that might be missing here tonight, they look in pretty determined mood. There is some tremendous team spirit on show right now in the Wigan dressing room. They've made the better start to the season than Leeds. Second in the table. They are 3 points clear of the Rhinos, who sit in 7th place. Champions of last year against the league leaders of last season. Always one of the blue ribboned occasions of any Super League season. 7th in the table Leeds, but they do have that match in hand, delayed meeting with Widnes because of the World Club Challenge against Melbourne Storm last month. We've pointed to the fact that there's no Sam Tompkins for the Cherry and Whites. There's no Zach Hardacre again. There's no Ben Jones-Bishop. The burden of expectation falls on the likes of Sinfield, Maguire and Burrow for Leeds. They've been at the heartbeat of what has been a golden decade for this club. But Wigan, they look up for the challenge, don't they?
They certainly do, Eddie, and they always enjoy playing against Leeds. There should not be many points between them. Thankfully, the rain appears to have stopped. It rained for about 2 hours late this afternoon. But the big question, and I'm sure even the Wigan fans will be saying, can this Wigan side, without the mercurial Sam Tompkins, pull off a win here at Headingley? Won't be easy, but as I mentioned in the build-up there, Sean Wayne very confident of the fact that he would have noticed quite clearly last week that Danny Brough from the Giants absolutely kept kicking this Leeds outfit round, turning them around into the corner, and it made it a nightmare for the winger Joe Vickery, and I reckon it's going to be a hard night for Mr. Vickery as well.
Well, Wigan will go top of the table if they win, and will extend their unbeaten run at Headingley to 5 matches.
And we're potentially going to see so far the player of the season in my eyes. Liam Farrell will wear number 12 for the red and white side that are coming out onto the field now. You know what, he's worked hard over the last few years to improve his game, and this season he's been a standout player. Okay, he scored lots of tries and made lots of breaks. Everybody notices that. but he's made over 180 tackles, and that's not that special either, because a lot of players make tackles. In fact, there's been a handful who've made a few more than this year. He hasn't missed a single tackle so far this year. In my eyes, the best attacking and defensive player of Super League 2013. We're going to get to see him against a side who won the title last year and will challenge and push Wigan all the way, I'm sure, tonight.
Well, the Leeds Rhinos, they lost to Huddersfield last week. They were beaten by the Melbourne Storm in the World Club Challenge here. So Rob Burrow and company know they face the possibility of losing 3 in a row at home for the first time since 2009 if they go down to defeat this evening. Richard Silverwood is the big match referee, and they don't come much bigger than this in a season. Another sensational Friday for you, a Friday night Super League here on Sky Sports. 2 of the biggest names in the game, and a pitch and a theatre on which to portray their skills. Counting down to the kick-off, as we always do when Sky Sports is in town. Richard Silverwood waiting for the zeros to appear, blows the whistle. Richards gets us underway, and here we go.
And this is going to be important for Leeds. Can they keep possession? And that's one of the major reasons why I feel Brian McDermott has started with Jamie Peacock. He's a man that can lead him up. It's going to be tough in the forwards, especially in the opening 10.
Yes, Jamie Peacock back in the starting lineup, rested against Salford. He was substitute last week. And Leeds coming to the end of their first set of 6. Peacock gets the ball away to Maguire. Maguire tries to go on the inside of Farrell, is brought down by a combination of him and O'Loughlin. And there is the first kick of the night from Kevin Sinfield, but straight into the arms of Pat Richards at full back. And Richards begins the counter, but gets only as far as Joel Moon.
Good possession though, took it very, very well. Well, that's good defence. Ryan Bailey going low, and you can see Buchanan helped along. It's going to be a tough one, this, Eddie. That I have little doubt. Will the Wigan youngsters in that pack, can they stand the pace?
Blake Green gets the ball away to Farrell once again. And Michael McElaurum has moved into dummy half. They come into centre field. A drive forward there from Ben Flower. This is the last tackle for Wigan, this set of 6. Matty Smith drills the ball all along the deck. They bounced in front of Ryan Hall, and the Leeds winger picked it up cleanly, moved forward.
Good kick and chase as well. Sean Wayne will be happy with that. Matty Smith going to be a key factor tonight. Combination with the standoff Blake Green, so important. They'll get a different attacking perspective from Wigan, of course, without Sam Tompkins. Richards will be used more as a forward style player rather than the jinking runs we've seen from Tompkins in the past. Nice offload from Peacock though.
It was straight to Kylie Luluai. Luluai gets the Rhinos over halfway, plays the ball then to Burrow. He finds Maguire, he goes Delaney. Delaney topped the tackle count in the World Club Challenge. It's the last tackle coming up here for Leeds. It's with Sinfield. Little dink over the top looking for Ryan Hall. He finds him as well. Darryl Goulding gets to him, releases the pass to Moon. Moon keeps the movement going to Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Jamie Jones-Buchanan slices the ball up into the middle. It's picked up by Vickery. And then Wigan get it back.
Well, I'm not so sure Brian McDermott will be happy with that last passage of play by the Rhinos. Trying to get the kick, it was utilisation of Kevin Sinfield out wide. It was picked up by Ryan Hall, but really it should have gone deeper. They should have applied the pressure.
Good tackle by Joel Moon on Matty Smith.
There was an example, Eddie, the first time we've seen it tonight, where Wigan have 2 waves of attacks, 2 lines, aren't they, where the ball can go to the man at the front or the man slightly behind him and out wide. And last year when Wigan played here, that sort of play and that attacking option was devastating. The Rhinos couldn't cope with it. Several times out wide, Sam Tompkins split through the gap. Here Callum Watkins again under pressure with a good kick from, was it Matty Smith?
Oh, but what a return. He's coming back with interest. He's stepping through the challenges. He can't get away from Richards though, but how about that for a return of the football to the 40-metre line?
Well, that was wonderful. I was just about to praise the fact that it was a hooker, Michael McIlroy, that got the kick in. He was first there. It looked as though it got the fullback wrapped up, but the jinking run from Watkins was superb.
Peacock picked up, pushed back a couple of metres. McIlroy and Dom Crosby. And Sinfield gets the ball away again, and Luluai going up the middle.
Good attacking ploy, the little flat pass.
Scampering run from Burrow, he finds John Buchanan.
Back to
that went
six.
behind everybody. Picked up by Charlie, it was a knock on by Wigan.
A good build up there by Leeds. They'll be happy with that. You see the big second row of Jones Buchanan get the ball away. Goulding got the fingertips to it. Well, this was the effort. There you see McIlroy got to him, should have gone low, went high. Great kick, but a poor finish. Great work from the fullback.
Callum Watkins, 22 last Tuesday. This is Carl Ablett now. Fourth in a row in the centres for Ablett. Plays the ball to Burrow. It's Delaney again. Good run from Delaney, halted by important challenges from Flower. Sinfield. Ablett gets it wide, finds Vickery. Vickery comes inside before he's dumped to the ground. Sinfield, short ball to Peacock. Maguire, here's Bailey.
That inside short pass causing all sorts of problems in Wigan defence. Still getting solid though.
And Delaney goes wide. Vickery puts it down.
To be fair to the winger, it wasn't the best pass, it was looping down. Well, a good build-up into nothing. You can see it was just looping. It was very difficult for him to take that. He couldn't take it on the half volley.
Greasy ball, as you said. It has been raining here today.
Good example, though, of why Wigan have managed to keep their opponents scoreless on 2 matches this year. Player clearly in front of Vickery there. He was covered, and they really have defended so well in the opening 6 rounds. Can they continue tonight?
Tough to predict Super League this year, isn't it? Wakefield 6 up at St Helens. Very early, though. That's great defence from the champions. And solid defence again on show to defend that particular run. Goulding trying to get his jump away from the would-be tacklers, can't do so. This is solid from Leeds.
Well, you can see there, barely 6.5 minutes into this game, and the defences are getting on top. And that means it's going to take something extremely special to get a breakthrough, even just a half break and maybe the offload. Look at that defence.
That's tremendous from Leeds. And the kick from Matty Smith goes in between Ryan Hall and Callum Watkins. And will it stay in the field of play? Well, Hall sees to it that it does. And he saw what Watkins did a few minutes ago and tries to repeat the feat. And that's another good, solid run.
Yeah, if a man retrieves it from the kick and chase, if you can get anywhere near the 30-metre line, you've done exceptionally well. But this defence, I keep saying it, that these are the 2 best defenders you'll watch this year in Super League.
Yeah, you look at the league table, you could say Leeds a little bit wobbly early season as far as their form's concerned. That is understandable, though, considering the build-up, the aftermath of the World Club Challenge. And it's worth mentioning here that Leeds have actually contested 5 of the last 6 World Club Challenges. So they know how to cope with it all, I suppose. And here is Ablett, and they really do look fired up for this tonight, Leeds. Brian McDermott would have wanted a response, and at the moment he's getting it. High kick from Sinfield, spiralling everywhere. Richards safe underneath it.
But you see, got enough height there to be able to the Leeds players to get into a good position and know that Wigan will be within 10 metres of their own line.
We've got 2 very different packs on show here tonight, Eddie. With the Leeds Rhinos, we've got some physically very big men. Jamie Peacock, Kylie Luluai, and the returning Ryan Bailey. Hard to stop. On the Wigan side, they're slightly smaller in the forwards. We know that some of the big players they're missing. They're slightly smaller, but they're very, very mobile. It's going to take a very sharp Leeds attack to break down this Wigan defence because of the mobility that they do have. They can move across and compensate for each other very quickly.
And it's a question of Wigan kicking it there via Blake Green to simply try and gain a bit of land. Watkins is underneath it again. He's away from one. He's doing really well tonight, isn't he, Callum Watkins, so far?
Yeah, settled into that position exceptionally well, hasn't he? But the thing that was worrying the Wigan coach Sean Wayne is the fact that last set of 6, they got nowhere near the halfway line. And that's the reason, early in the tackle count, that Leeds at the midway point, halfway.
And they get over halfway with Delaney. He gets them to within 40. There is Sean Wayne, the Wigan coach. Of course, he had a spell as a Leeds Rhino as well, a Leeds player in his career. Because there's a little bit of him on this ground. Moon is tackled. Maguire feigned to go inside, comes down the short side, gets the ball away to Ryan Hall. Stuttering run from Hall. Great try from Ryan Hall. 146 tries now for Ryan Hall. This is his 58th consecutive appearance for Leeds, his 170th appearance in all, and he's got 12 tries now against Wigan down the years.
It's all about experience, and you can see there the second marker on that blind side just went to sleep. Danny Maguire, they both went the same way. You don't do that. Irrespective of what level of rugby league, when you get one marker and the second marker going exactly the same way, you leave just enough room for the wonderful skills of Danny Maguire to set the big fella, Ryan Hall, into the corner. Nice step to finish. Little wonder, Eddie, that this guy is being classed as world class.
Well, if you like omens, Ryan Hall got 2 tries in the last home Super League win against Wigan in 2009.
I don't know if Owen Farrell and the England Rugby Union team will be tuning in to watch this, but here's a man, pretty impressive goal kicking stats. 95% of the kicks he's tried have gone over successfully for them this year. Kevin Sinfield's goal kicking is world class.
Yes, it is, and usually from this distance and this range, he makes no mistake, and he makes no mistake on this occasion either. And the Rhinos are ahead by 6 points to 0.
Well, Steve-O's identified the culprit on this occasion, and it's Daryl Goulding. He was involved in the tackle of Joe Moon. He's thinking as a right centre, this ball is going to go open. He's clocked off, and Danny Maguire's been good enough to sell a dummy and send Ryan Hall off down on the short side. Daryl Goulding will look back on that play and said, I got lazy in my thoughts. I anticipated them moving it wide, and I got caught short on this side. I don't think he'll let it happen again.
Wigan restart then with the kick-off that bounces and bobbles its way to Ablett, and Jack Hughes leading the chase.
It just shows you, though, what a smart player Danny Maguire has been over the years. He knew exactly what was happening there.
That's good defence from Wigan now. Kevin Sinfield, by the way, now 2 points shy of that 3,500 career milestone.
Phenomenal, that, isn't it? Unbelievable. What a great player he has been. It still is.
Warrington ahead 10-0
on him
at Salford. Yes, you have.
And this is what happened against Huddersfield. This is what gave Huddersfield such a foothold in the game. Just when you thought that Leeds would be able to ramp up and continue the pressure, they gave Huddersfield back the ball last Friday. Huddersfield were good enough to capitalise on that. When this happens, let's see if Wigan can turn it into points.
And here comes Ben Flower, the 14 times Welsh international. A little mistake from Kevin Sinfield. Can Wigan capitalise? Dom Crosby will take it forward now.
It could turn out into a big mistake, Eddie, not a little one. Gives Wigan the first real opportunity. Nice soft low, but well spotted there. Henry Jones Buchanan picks it up. Good defence.
Chris Tewson plays the ball. It's now with O'Loughlin. Here is Matty Smith. Got the short pass away, but the ball went backwards. It came back off the back of the dummy runner, so play on. That's why we're going to have this last tackle. And Mike goes up off the boot, looking for Charnley out wide. Misses Charnley, finds Hall.
Good job that Charlie got back in time. Really good job of just slowing the winger Ryan Hall down for playing the ball quickly. A little bit light on Wigan in defence on that left-hand side. Did it well, didn't he? Ryan Hall took a big gamble. He wouldn't have been able to stop the man if Charlie would have taken that on the full.
Burrow and Delaney, and the brakes applied by Kylie Luluwai to prevent a possible obstruction play there by Delaney running behind him. Here's Peacock. Another solid run from Jamie.
Well, he just keeps them calm, doesn't he? They don't get excited when Jamie Peacock's got the ball.
Sinfield just punches the ball in behind the Wigan defence. Richards picks it up on his own line.
Yeah, great backspin on that ball. You could see it stop just a couple of metres away from the goal line.
And so Wigan now trying to work this ball forward. Ian Thornley was tackled. Here comes Josh Charnley. McIlaurin gets it away. O'Loughlin. But it's good, solid Leeds Rhinos defence on show here. And they decide to go early with the kick of Blake Green.
It's a good one as well.
It's a great kick. If it finds the sideline, it's a 40-20.
Oh. Well, Vickery nearly made a right meal of that. His nerves would have been dangling, because mainly due to the fact there was a kick like that last week against Huddersfield, resulted in a try. He'll be pleased he picked it up just in time. That's a good kick though. Went early, went on the fourth.
Richard Moore is on for the Rhinos. He's been doing a great job for the Rhinos lately, says his coach Brian McDermott. Fourth in a row off the bench. Peacock still out there. A big grunt as he came into contact with Ben Flower. Sinfield inside the 40-20 mark, goes for a 40-20. This might spin its way over the line. If it doesn't, it's perfect anyway, because it stands in the in-goal area. And Charnley with work to do, and it's a great chase led by Joel Moon.
Brilliant combination. The kick, the chase, the tackle. That is one way to please any coach. Especially Brian McDermott. Did he get him over the... Well, no, maybe Charnley's just right leg went up, but I don't think it was...
That's nothing but a good tackle.
It's reminding me this of the start that Leeds made against St Helens at Langtree Park.
Yeah, they snuffed them out, didn't they? Didn't allow any room for the skill factor from Saints that particular evening.
Liam Farrell, it was spun to him by Blake Green, sliding forward on the knees. Again, it was Green again.
Again, Eddie, they are failing to get anywhere near the halfway line. And look at this, the fullback in a good position when he's playing the ball.
Good catch too from Callum Watkins. Leeds in a purple patch at the moment. Oh, that's a high shot. Well, the referee and touch judge disagree.
I'll tell you what Ryan Hall won't. His head went right back. Look at this. Oh.
Burrow on a scampering little run. That's high.
Just let that go. It's all on, boys.
Sinfield gets the ball away. Delaney does a 360.
It shouldn't have gone to him. He was lucky. He was supposed to be the dummy runner. And that's getting very high indeed.
Burrow again finds Sinfield. Here's Maguire. Maguire dabs this through, inviting Joel Moon to chase, but it was just too long.
The man to watch now is Mickey McIlaurin, Eddie. When this game starts to heat up, he's a man that he likes. He's just tapping the ball now, wearing the number 9 jersey for the Wigan Warriors. He loves it when games get intense. But I guess a bit like his old teammate, his old sparring partner Gareth Hock, that's now gone on to the Widnes Vikings, Mickey's got to learn to control himself. A very, very good hooker and a person that will be pushing for international honours at the end of this year. But he's got to make sure he controls that aggression tonight.
And here is Charnley with a bit of open space ahead of him, having the confidence to take on Maguire, getting away from him, but Richard Moore comes in and cleans him out after he'd been interrupted on the run by Joel Moon. He didn't like it either. Play goes on though, and this is Gil Dudson, another Welsh international in this side, coached, of course, or assistant coach, Iestyn Harris, and Farrell will scamper to the line, and he will score the try for Wigan, or will he? The referee will ask
the ball's been played.
back here.
Check if he knocks on.
And they're asking about a possible knock-on. But Leeds appeared to stop. They thought there was something wrong with that. But they should really play to the whistle. the video referee might come to their rescue. Let's see.
Well, you don't stop. Oh, a little bit of a fumble there from McAlorum, but did it leave the fingers? I don't think it did. I think this will be held on, and this is an embarrassment for Callum Watkins, the full-back. I wouldn't classify that as a knock-on.
I think you're right, Steve. I think that's okay, but Eddie, you made the point that Leeds stopped. I think Liam Farrell, to an extent, couldn't believe the gap that opened up in front of him.
Well, he had a wonderful start to this game, Callum Watkins. This will be confirmation, surely. And correctly so. Video ref tonight, Ian Smith. He's in fine form, this fella, but he had it easy, mainly due to the fact that a poor attempt by Callum Watkins. He just brushed him off. Get out of the way. That is not the best defence you'll ever see, but take nothing away from this fella, Liam Farrell. Boy, he gets better each week.
A lot of players who play in the forwards either are very good at attacking or equally as good at defending. Farrell has both sides of his game. I said it at the start of this match, Eddie. He's made the top tackles in the game so far. He's certainly done what he had to do when Leeds have had the ball, and with one chance there, he's got the first try for the Wigan side.
Now then, Matty Smith's kicking, even though Pat Richards is out there. Matty Smith has done okay, though. He's levelled the scores with that. And I wonder if Pat Richards has got a problem.
Well, it would appear that way.
Or is it too far for the 30-year-old Richards to run back from one end of the field to the other to take a position at fullback?
I don't think he'll accept that, Eddie. That's for sure.
There must be a fitness problem with something.
Yeah, there's got to be.
Oh, that's a tremendous restart. It dropped in front of Matty Smith. The bounce fooled him, but it didn't fool Charnley. And it led Leeds in with a good chase from the kickoff too.
Well, I think the officials got it right, Eddie. A lot of the Leeds fans thought that McAlorum had knocked on. I think in the slow motion replay, it was quite clear that he had one hand on control of it.
I think the Leeds players thought that as well. Coming up to the 20-minute mark, and we're all square. Leeds have got Wigan tonight, then Wakefield away, home to the Bradford Bulls at Easter, then they're off to Perpignan, and another titanic clash with Warrington here. That's their programme that lies ahead. Vickery is underneath that kick downfield. Bit of an aimless one.
Brian McDermott, the Rhinos coach, will be very disappointed that he's looking at the scoreboard and sees that it's all square, it's all level. Because Leeds have just been in so much control, so much possession. Wigan have had to do far too much defence. The kicking game's been good from Leeds, and yet Wigan, first real chance, they put points on the board. It's all about taking your chances.
It is, and Leeds were caught on the hop there because it looked like Richard Moore had taken the tackle and he just somehow slid the ball out. And it was a good job that Watkins was the man to react, and here's a forward pass called by Richard Silverwood and his touch judge on that far side.
Well, this is only the second error, isn't it, here now? A forward pass for the Leeds side. It has been what they've been guilty of at times this season, but they started the opening quarter of this game particularly well. If you look at some of the key stats in the game, the breaks, the meters and the tackle success, it indicates at this stage that, as Steve-O has just said, Leeds you'd expect to have a little bit of a lead, maybe an 8-point lead here at that point in time. But we're going to have done well to hang on at this point, and usually it's the Warriors who blow their opponents away in that opening quarter.
This is Tewson, in great form as well, 3 tries in his last 2 games. McAlorum finds Smith, finds Green. Green gets away from Sinfield. There's Richards. They go wide, and it's Thornley.
Good work, good cover. It had to be as well because Rob Barrow got caught out. He came in on the angle, and once they got past him, there was a huge gap. They're getting the confidence now, Wigan.
It's Tewson again. He's fed by Smith. He went for a return, did Smith, but it was a wayward pass. Maguire drops on the Wigan scrum half. He'll play it to McAlorum. McAlorum will find Ben Flower. Flower gets away from a couple, but not from Ablett. McAlorum scampers in. Quick play the ball. Good hands, great hands. Farrell wide to Thornley, back inside to Farrell. The Leeds fans now shouting for a forward pass. It wasn't, according to the officials. And Green with a crossfield kick, looking for Josh Charnley, only finding Ryan Hall. And Hall gets the ball away.
Maguire, well done. Tremendous build-up though by Wigan. Just mentioned the fact that they certainly were building in confidence there, but the inside passing was superb. Build up to him, and yet again Ryan Hall plucks it out of the air.
I guess, Eddie, if Wigan had a choice, they'd rather be on the other side of the field, kicking the ball to Vickery on the right wing rather than Ryan Hall, who seems to be comfortable and equally adept at catching that high ball above his head.
Well, what Josh Charnley's got to be careful, we've seen Leeds awarded a penalty. He's got to be careful of giving Ryan Hall a free catch. He's got to, if he doesn't catch it and he knocks it on, that's not such a big deal. But if he gives Ryan Hall a free catch, we've got glimpses of how far he can go. It's the high shot on Jamie Peacock to give Leeds good field position. But yes, Josh Charnley, he's got to make sure that there's no clean paws on it from Ryan Hall.
That's the first penalty of the match. 23.25 minutes have gone. Lung bursting stuff.
Which is surprising, Eddie. We've seen a few high shots in the build-up, and that's the first one that has actually been seen by the officials. We expected it though.
Richard Moore, 20th appearance for Leeds in all, but he hasn't started a game yet. That could have been judged to be forward as well. It was flat anyway. It's the way the officials saw it. Burrow. And here's Sinfield attacking the line, gives it to Maguire. He then gives it to Bailey. And Bailey only knows one way really, straight and right at the defender.
Just come a little bit too early there, Bailey. Another half a metre, it would have been more impressive.
Movement behind the ball here from Leeds. It's Joel Moon. Oh, brilliant pass. So close. So close to a breathtaking try.
Well, he nearly was over the moon, wasn't he, on this one? This is
Trick shots galore here.
Yeah. Oh, this has got a bit of Tommy Cooper about it, hasn't it? Oh, he just couldn't get to it, there's no one home. Sensational. Would have been an absolutely outstanding try.
Just couldn't take it in, Ryan Hall. It's a half chance though. 6-all. Wigan haven't lost here at Headingley since a 12-10 Cup quarter-final defeat in May 2010. Their last Super League defeat, March 2009.
It's so incredibly difficult to defend a player like Joel Moon. If it's somebody that tucks the ball under their arm, you know you can put a shot on them and you can stop them there and then. With Joel Moon, not only do you have to stop him physically, but you have to try and lock up the ball at the same time. So it won't be just Darryl Goulding's tackling on Joel Moon. It'll be the assistance he gets from either side that will snuff out any plays from the creative Leeds left centre.
Good game at Langtry Park. Decent game here at Headingley. And the kick off Thornley. Did it hit the man or did the man play the ball?
I think it's the ball hitting the man.
I think it's Leeds' ball, we're going to check it.
Referee just wants it to be checked. I'm not so sure. What do you think?
Well, he was turning his
back. Did he move towards that? But did the leg come out? Watch the leg.
I have that down as playing at the ball. You're acknowledging the ball in your actions and your movements, so I would put that down. People might think it's harsh, but I would say there's recognition by Callum Watkins of this ball, and for me that's played at.
Well, they utilised the winger Joe Vickery under a lot of pressure there. That was good work on that blind side.
Well, the video referee Ian Smith doesn't agree. Leeds head and feet at the scrum.
Now that's a classic example, Eddie, on that tackle of what Wigan want to do to prevent Leeds threatening them. Really control their opponents here again. Wrestle him, hold him, control him. Look, they've got control of that situation. When the Wigan defender isn't back in position, his line all set, that's when Rob Burrow likes to pick off and run at defenders that are retreating, and the rest of his Leeds teammate will support. Wigan looking to prevent that whenever they possibly can.
Sinfield gets the ball away to Maguire. He then looks and finds Bailey.
Very efficient with the dummy run around the Rhinos tonight.
Delaney again. Trying to get away from the tacklers and then taking them forward 5 metres. Solid stuff from Delaney.
Got to have height this one, surely. No, he's gone to the corner.
He has. He's invited Hall to chase it. Oh, and Hall knocks on. Well, with a bit of luck, Brian Hall could have been over for 3 tries. Could have had a hat-trick here.
Certainly could, and a little bit slack in defence here, Wigan. You'd see there Charnley was a little bit slow to react.
Actually, Richards did really well here. He just did enough to put him off. His presence, I think, was as much to blame as the butterfingers from Ryan Hall on that occasion.
It was a beautiful kick, though, wasn't it? Right into the corner. Charnley just not reading it well.
Well, they got trouble now and pressure on that right-hand side with Josh Charnley and Darryl Goulden, because they know he can throw the ball to Joel Moon, so that's a constant threat.
40-20 here for Wigan, I think.
Brilliant.
Off the boot of Blake Green.
Absolutely brilliant. On the third tackle, could see no one was home. No winger, no fullback, and Green comes up with a perler.
He's settling in, isn't he, at Wigan, Blake Green?
A lot of eyebrows were raised when it came to the Warriors. But he's a solid player, that's for sure. And the combination with Matty Smith is growing week in, week out. And that was outstanding.
It's a huge kick. Just as I was finishing that point, Kevin Sinfield has got a passing game to Joel Moon, and now he's told the Wigan Warriors, I've got a kicking game. So if you come up to try and snuff out the pass to Moon, I'll put the kick in behind you. So be on red alert. At the same time, then Blake Green puts in a wonderful kick for his side.
Oh, that's a sloppy pass. First pass, they're asking for a knock-on, and the referee said it went backwards off Darryl Goulding. Sloppy from Wigan there. Oh,
Was it ever?
and that was a high shot by Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Chris Tewson felt it, and the referee agrees, blows the whistle.
Well, he lost his cool, didn't he? Second row, Jamie Jones-Buchanan. He turned his head. He thought there was a knock-on there in the build-up to that, before this, and then he was angry, that's for sure. That's a bad one. That's a swing in there. And he said a lot to the official. Well, that's doing his team no good whatsoever, and you can see he's still chuntering on.
And the Rugby Football League, in the wake of things that happened last weekend, have insisted that officials in this game will be treated with respect by all concerned from here on in, just re-emphasising the point. It doesn't need ramming home, but it needs emphasising now and again.
Certainly does, Eddie, and there was problems last night, wasn't there, as well, in one of the games where the players are really just taking it on, and we want to stamp it out, and I'm sure that the Rugby Football League are aware of it, and they will do that. And there's only one way you do it. Don't give them more than one, give them 2, give them 3.
Matty Smith with the kicking responsibilities, and he adds the extras, so it's 8 points to 6 in Wigan's favour, trailing by 6-0. Brian McDermott's men starting so well, but now, half an hour gone or thereabouts, Leeds find themselves 2 points adrift.
And Wigan fully deserve it as well. You know, they took the onslaught. The Rhinos really took it to them in the opening 15 minutes, and it looked as though when Ryan Hall went in, and as Eddie has already mentioned, Ryan Hall could have got a hat-trick. Gives you the idea that Leeds are in control, but they're 2 points behind on the most important thing.
It's another high shot, and another high shot by the same man.
He's got to have a caution, surely.
I must say, as we have another look at this, the high shot, it started on the shoulder and drifted up into the face of Pat Richards. I remain baffled why Richards isn't taking the kicks. Rod Studd has asked the question of the Wigan bench, and apparently, Rod, they told you there's nothing to report, no news.
Well, he's definitely carrying some kind of injury. He's had his fair share of knees and ankle problems over the years, Pat Richards, but the Wigan coaching staff won't confirm what that injury is. They're keeping it very quiet. I shall continue my investigations at half-time by quizzing Mr. Wayne, Eddie, but he's definitely out of kicking duty for tonight by the look of it.
Fair enough.
Well, if there's one guy that can get the answer, it'll be Mr. Studd.
Our very own Inspector Clouseau.
Clouseau Studd, exactly. He's on the case. By the way, Matty Smith kicking his first 2 pointers for Wigan tonight. He has slotted over the odd drop goal.
Wigan just looked to have accelerated, Eddie, since they kicked that penalty goal. They want to play the game faster here now. And ask the Rhinos, you were good in the first 10 of the first half. What do you like in the last 10?
Smith gets the ball away, but that's good defence from Ablett. Got the ball away to Blake Green. Farrell finds Richards. Good kick in general play from Richards. It's gone behind them. Oh, they're taking a chance, Leeds there again. They were undone in that corner by Danny Brough last weekend. It nearly happened again.
Great kick. And you can see there that Callum Watkins had it covered. Just had to get the boot to it in the end. Well, we anticipated. We said before the game, Brian McDermott trusted his players, selected the same 19-man squad, even though the fact that Vickery had a bit of a nightmare against the Giants last week. They're showing the faith. Coaches and the players respond. 2 points down.
Maybe down, but the stats are starting to suggest here now that Wigan are going to come back into this game. They still suggest that Leeds, Mike, because of all that early domination and the chances they had, should be in front. But I think it's Wigan here now who are looking to maybe capitalise and put even more points from this position.
The goal line drop out to halfway. Wigan will run the ball back with Scott Taylor. Formerly with Hull Kingston Rovers. England international off the bench, yet to start. And now it's Dudson.
Leeds has got to have a lot of composure now. They cannot afford to give away another penalty.
The other Tompkins is on, that's Logan. He finds Matty Smith, Blake Green. It was missed by Richards, but it actually has turned into something here for Thornley. Decent tackling by Kevin Sinfield. Logan Tompkins and O'Loughlin drops the pass off to Matty Smith. Obstruction though.
Yeah, he utilised him. Run right across him. Nice Taylor there. Just got lost, didn't he? Can't do that.
Well, when a team have those two lines of attack, you see Dudson number 20 was the first line, then 21 Taylor's another line, but then Richards is behind as that second option. Unless the timing's perfect, that's sometimes a result of what happens and your opposition get the ball.
Luluai's returned. 7 minutes to the half-time break. Burrow. Maguire, short ball, Moon. Good tackling by Matty Smith. He held on for maybe a fraction too long, much to the annoyance of the Leeds fans. Jamie Jones-Buchanan tried to get it away, went forward.
Classified as a knock-on, not having the best of times. Jamie Jones-Buchanan, no doubt in my mind, he was trying to offload. Was it knocked out? Well, Dudson had the arm going over the top, but was he looking? I think you could see that he was trying to offload as well, and that's always confusing for any official. It certainly was knocked back.
It was a loose carry, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you could tell that Jones Buchanan was trying to offload.
Again, it's that problem, Eddie, that they suffered last weekend against Huddersfield and were punished for it. Just turning the ball over when they need to work their way back into the game. Phil highlighted some of the statistics that have shown that the Warriors have probably been in the ascendancy for the last 10-15 minutes of this game. And Leeds need to work their way back into it and need to hold on to the ball. Probably not in their DNA of recent years, but that was a time to really get to your kick and put pressure on the Warriors.
Boy, what a gang tackle that was. Farrell would have felt that.
Blake Green hangs on, takes the next tackle. Luluai was in there quickly, so too was Ian Kirk. Here's Farrell again. It's the last tackle coming up here for the Wigan Warriors. Logan Tompkins gets it back to Green. He'll hoist it high, inviting everybody to chase it. It's the turnover, it was knocked forward. Pat Richards looking for the possession, as you see. Lost it.
Well, the South Stand fans, they thought that Wigan had made no attempt to get back the 10. That is, again, good defence. Boy, the fitness levels these days, outstanding. Oh, messing around.
Pushing and shoving, holding the player down. Penalty to Leeds.
Yeah, they got away with it a few times, haven't they, to build up there, but Matty Smith, he knew exactly what he was doing. Could prove costly. Leeds, they'll be desperate to get some more points on the board because they know they've frittered away a couple of golden opportunities.
Burrow waits. No Paul McShane on the bench tonight. The prospect is that Rob Burrow will probably have to play the full 80. They can move Sinfield up there, of course. And as you see, Maguire can go in at dummy half when he wants. Luluai.
Dropped it again, Eddie. Referee judged that he's lost the ball, that it wasn't stripped by a Wigan player. He's battling hard with it, leading with that arm, and I think that's a fair call by the referee. And yet again, Leeds unable to hold on to the ball, unable to put pressure on the Wigan Warriors.
Yeah, there was nothing that Logan Tompkins was doing to indicate that it was a steal. Didn't look too happy, Brian McDermott.
No, just a bit concerned.
And so he should be. Opportunities just thrown away. Good position, good kick. They were in control, and then they've allowed Wigan back into this match. Fair play to the Warriors.
Well, the 6 extra handling errors we just saw at the bottom of your screen, not only is that giving your opposition more possession, which is difficult, you've got to defend, but they're wasted opportunities, missed chances, and Leeds up maybe, as the game was on, need to reduce that in the second half. If we're going to have more ball than Leeds in the second 40-minute period, I can see the away team going away as winners.
Oh, that might have been forward.
It was, not seen. Either way, this will be the kick.
Tompkins, Smith, under pressure, gets it away. But straight down the throat of Joe Vickery again.
We'll see if they can get to the kick now. It's the manner of the errors that I think will upset their coach, Brian McDermott. If they throw the ball around and knock it on, I don't think he'll criticise them. That's what he asked them to do. But when it's a loose carry and they turn the ball over, that's when I think he might have something to say. We'll see what they can do now with this set of possession.
Oh, they get a penalty from the second tackle. Pushing and shoving again on the deck. Jack Hughes, the guilty party this time. Good tackle, but then they mess around on the floor.
Yeah, puts his hand on the head as well.
Now then, Leeds will be looking for something here in the 2 minutes up to half-time. Trailing by 6 points to 8. Luluai with the first drive in. Down he goes, 15 metres shy of the Wigan line.
Danny Maguire was absolutely screaming, saying, come on forwards, take it up there.
And Delaney is doing that to within 3. Burrow, will he go on his own? No, it'll come back untidily in the end. Well, Ian Kirk didn't want to bend his back. He's 6'7" tall, no wonder.
Well, he should have. Maguire was giving him a real look.
That's a nice kick from Sinfield for Ryan Hall to chase. And Ryan Hall, is this great defence or is it a fantastic try?
I think Charlie's held him up. And again, the kick into the corner has been so useful for Leeds. But they've planted the seed so many times, but there's no flower popped up yet.
That is a great play.
They're onside.
That's a great play, Steve-O. Such a difficult kick to pull off. And has he grounded it now?
No. Charlie's gone underneath him.
That's, again,
brilliant.
Great play in attack and then an even better play in defence. To me, that looks like it's held up.
Well, it's an amazing thing, isn't it? Ryan Hall could have had 4 tries tonight. He's only got one that's been given the nod, and to me that has not gone down on terra firma.
No, he hasn't got it down. It's 2 players working their hearts out to defend that ball, recognising where the ball is. Take your hats off to Josh Charlie on that occasion. No try for Ryan Hall, I would think.
Well, it's Ian Smith who is the video referee tonight, and it is no try. Didn't ground the ball.
Still
so
got
they
the
come
chance.
back to the 10-metre line. The tackle count continues.
Now then, will Callum Watkins come dancing in?
Maguire flicks the pass to Luluai. Last one here for Leeds. Sinfield, they're running it with Maguire short ball to Delaney but forward. And Wigan will treat that as a big, big plus.
That really should never have been released. The experience of Danny Maguire there. He could surely see that Brett Delaney was like nearly a metre in front of him. Well, the error count in this last 15 minutes for the Leeds Rhinos will be just irritating the players and their coach, Brian McDermott. They can't believe it.
Half-time scores from elsewhere here. The half-time is approaching, 40 seconds away. Logan Tompkins. Good hit by Ian Kirk. Great tackle on Chris Tewson, that. Tompkins again. O'Loughlin. Has he been quiet by his own incredible standards tonight?
I think they've had so much defending to do, Eddie, really. That you've mentioned the times that Ryan Hall could have scored tries in this game. I think Wigan will go in at half-time thinking, we have defended them out of this game so far. If we get a little bit of possession in a good field position, I think they can score points, and I think they will believe that themselves.
Well, the half-time siren will go any second, so will Callum Watkins have a dash, or will he just take the tackle? And he just takes the tackle, and that's the end of the first half. Well, Ryan Hall could have had 4 tries in this first 40 minutes as it is. He's just got the one, the try that gave the Leeds Rhinos the lead in the 11th minute. Sinfield improved that 6-0. Then Farrell with a try on 19 minutes. Smith kicked the goal. We're still wondering why Pat Richards hasn't been kicking tonight. Smith has kicked a penalty, and that's why we have just the 14 points scored during the first half, and 8 of them have got being a short